In this video, I am going to show you how to maximize your economic output for every single resource in Stellaris, regardless of your empire choices and regardless of your setup. The tricks I'm going to show you can be done for any empire and will provide you with more energy than a Dyson sphere and more minerals than a matter decompressor. We're also going to look at all of the other resource types: food, consumer good, alloys, trade, strategic resources, unity, and research. And one bonus extra resource that's also really important, so that you never again have to suffer the indignity of a weak economy. I should note that this video is going to assume you already have an understanding of the basic concepts of planetary management in Stellaris 4.0 and beyond. If you're still feeling a little lost with the basics, you might want to check out my Stellaris 4.0 Planetary Management Guide. I'll make sure to put a link to that down in the description below. Without any further ado then, let's dive in. I'm going to go through each resource, starting with the basic resources: energy, minerals, and food, then moving on to the advanced resources: consumer goods and alloys. We'll look at trade, we'll look at the strategic resources, unity, research, and also naval capacity, so that you can maximize your outputs from the planets you have available to you and become the best empire you can be. So how do we maximize our energy credit production? Here is an energy world. This is a size 12 planet. However, I've made it slightly bigger by adding in Mastery of Nature. That is an ascension perk that unlocks the Mastery of Nature decision, granting +2 districts and plus 50% max resource districts from planetary features. The bonus to max resource districts isn't actually going to be that relevant to us. We really care about that +2 max districts. Alongside that, I have put an orbital ring around the planet and filled it up with habitation modules, granting me 4 more districts. And this planet also happened to get subterranean wildlife. Overall, that means I can support a total of 19 districts. I have opted for 8 power plant districts. I've specialized that, thrown on the important energy nexus building to provide my technicians with additional jobs. And then I've also added in generator support districts. By fully specializing this world into being a generator world, we've even designated it as such for a further bonus. We are stacking bonuses upon bonuses upon bonuses. Currently, each city district I have is granting me plus 40% output for my technicians, though that does come with an increase to trade upkeep. 11 districts in total is giving me 440% additional energy output. The energy nexus is giving me a further 20% and increasing the base output of my technicians, which is then further modified by my support districts, giving me insane bonuses. On top of that, we've got stratospheric ionization elements. This one is granting a further +2 base energy output. So if we look at our output per 100 pops, I can hover over technicians here and hold Alt to see that. I am generating 120 energy credits. That is 1.2 energy per pop. And overall, that's giving us basically the energy output of a Dyson sphere, but on a single size 12 world. You can do this without Mastery of Nature. You can take any planet and convert it into an energy generating monster. You simply need to make sure you stack together plenty of jobs and then plenty of bonuses so their outputs go higher and higher and higher. I've added even more jobs here by throwing in some of the Fallen Empire buildings, the Class 3 singularities. If I had a population issue, I could still produce plenty of energy. To do that, I would simply need to build the optimization building. This one allows me to automate up to 50% of the workforce, meaning that I could still get access to a large output per 100 pops. In this case, I'm getting 200 energy per 100 pops because it's calculating it a bit funky thanks to the automated workforce. But even if I had absolutely no pops, by automating the generator districts here, I could maintain energy production. I'd only be making probably around 1500 energy, but the upkeep on this optimization building isn't that high because I don't have that many districts. The generator support districts are providing me with such a large boost, 440%, alongside some bonuses from technologies like field modulation and capacity subsidies, that in essence you could take any empty planet and turn it into an energy producing hub just as quickly as your build speed. And if you want to really maximize your energy output, then you should go and get a ring world. A single ring segment here is producing 19,000 energy. That is the energy equivalent output of 5 Dyson spheres. This is because the generator support districts on a ring world grant us plus 100% resources from jobs per city segment. 2 of these in total, granting us 200%, meaning these 5 city segments are granting plus 1,000 energy output. Every 100 pops here produce 200 additional energy for us. And yes, this is costing me a lot of trade, but we'll get to how to make trade a little later, so you don't need to worry about it as long as you've got plenty of worlds to specialize. For mining, we can do exactly the same. Here is New Rioradin converted into a mining world. We cannot make minerals on our ring worlds, so you do need to find some rocky planets in order to maximize your mineral output. Again, I've combined mining support districts with a mining specialized district to take 2,500 pops and produce more minerals than a matter decompressor. 3 or 4 planets specialized in this way, and let's not forget they don't have to be that big. You're going to get at least 4 additional districts from your habitation modules, and if you pick something like Mastery of Nature, that can go even higher. But 4 worlds like this, and that's probably all the minerals you will need for an entire playthrough. Don't forget to put the orbital building on. There is one for minerals, food, and energy. I'm not going to show off a food world because I hate farmers, but basically the exact same is true with food. You could even make a food ring segment. Let's take a look now at the advanced resources. This is an ecumenopolis. Here I am producing mainly alloys. I have specialized my primary residential archaeology into 2 heavy industries, providing me with 600 metallurgist jobs per city district. And then I've also specialized another district into a foundry archaeology. You want to make sure that you have an alloy reclamation plant to reduce upkeep, a metallurgical research lab to increase metallurgist job efficiency, and a Ministry of Production to increase base resource output of your metallurgists. Then on your orbital ring, make sure to throw down an alloy processing facility. This single planet is producing around 17,000 alloys and a host of other resources for me. If I needed consumer goods, I could do exactly the same thing, but with an ecumenopolis factory. You don't have to do this on an ecumenopolis, you could just do this on a regular planet. However, there aren't that many bonuses you can stack on the industrial jobs for consumer goods or alloys, so taking an ecumenopolis world or a ring world to produce these alloys is your best bet. Let's take a look at trade. And if you're enjoying this video, please maximize the economy of that like button. Now, for trade, you simply need to specialize into trading commercial nexus. There's no special magic trick here for additional trade, however. You just need workers working the jobs, and then you need to stack some bonuses. Galactic Stock Exchange is very good for improving your job efficiency, and a commercial megaplex is great by reducing the upkeep for your traders. But otherwise, you just need pops working the job to give you trade output. Here I am producing 3,500 trade. It can actually be easier to sell other resources in order to make up trade deficits you might have from your basic resource production. You definitely need to have positive trade though, as you require trade when your ships go to war in order to spend on fleet upkeep. There is, of course, the Gigamall, which will give you a small bonus of 5% trade output from jobs as well. That's the orbital ring building. When it comes to strategic resources, the first 3, volatile motes, exotic gases, and rare crystals, are basically an afterthought. On a planet that you've specialized into either producing alloys or consumer goods, you simply need to build the exotic gas refinery, chemical plants, and synthetic crystal plant. This is going to increase your mineral upkeep quite a bit. However, you're going to get a massive output of strategic resources for each of these 3 basic types. So much so that you'll never actually have to worry about strategic resources again, even if you just do this on 1 or 2 planets. Unfortunately, the remaining bonus resources are not easily accessible. Yes, if you go for modularity, you can get your hands on some extra living metal, and psionically ascended empires can get lots of Zro, but the best way to get living metal, Zro, and dark matter is actually going to be through the market. And nanites, well, you basically have to do the nanite ascension path, or go and take the L cluster for a measly income. For minor artifacts, what you need is a relic world. On a relic world, you can place the Faculty of Archaeo Studies, which will give you a minor artifact income per 100 Archaeo engineers. This is your society researchers transformed and converted into Archaeo engineers. In fact, you might actually want to convert the research enclave here into a society specialized enclave, because that's going to give you an even higher minor artifact output every single month. The best way to get your hands on astral threads is through the Astral Siphon. This building is available to grab if you've got some astral thread income once you've completed a few astral rifts. You'll want to do this action 3 times so that you can upgrade the building to its highest level, and then you're going to be producing 2 astral threads for every 100 physics researchers, alongside 4 additional research per 100 physics researchers. Here I have 5,000 physics researchers producing 300 astral threads every month, which is going to be enough threads to basically run all of the astral edicts. Speaking of researchers, let's take a look at how to boost our research output to the maximum. Of course, you'll want to get research districts so that you can get more researcher jobs. Here I'm looking at a ring world, but this principle is true for Ecumenopolis worlds or even regular worlds. Make sure to get down a research institute. That's going to improve the base output of all of your researchers alongside each of these specialist buildings. You will have an upkeep now of strategic resources, volatile motes, rare crystals, and exotic gases, but it's going to be worth it overall. This is also going to boost the efficiency for each of your jobs. Then you'll want to grab the research supply depot to reduce upkeep by 20% for the researchers, and also grab a data-driven theorem facility for another 15% job efficiency for your researcher jobs. And then just stack as many researchers as you can, and don't forget, if it's giving you output bonuses, it can be a great idea to ascend the planet. By getting it to level 10, you'll get a 250% designation boost, which in this case is giving me 50% additional research output for each of my research jobs on top of all of those efficiency modifiers. 100 of my physicists here make 60 physics research, 100 of my engineers make 40 engineering research, and 100 biologists make 40 biology research. This is insane levels of pop efficiency. How about Unity? Well, honestly, at the point in the game where it's going to matter to you to ramp up your Unity production, it's probably not actually worth it to have that much additional Unity. Yes, you can ascend your planets, which is good, but the cost for ascension gets higher and higher the more ascension tiers you've activated, and once you've completed all of your traditions and grabbed all of your ascension perks, that is basically the only reason you would spend Unity other than on your policies and edicts. If you want to maximize it, basically you want to do the same things you've done before, grab the special buildings to give you more job efficiency, increase base output, and reduce upkeep. And don't forget about the orbital filing system to give you additional Unity output. The last resource I'm going to cover isn't really technically a resource, though it does show up in your resource bar. This is Naval Capacity. In order to maximize your naval capacity, you need soldiers. How can you get lots of soldiers? A great way is to build habitats near the end of the game and specialize them only in defense. This gives you 2 great bonuses. First off, a fortress will give you an FTL inhibitor, so you could place these habitats down in strategic locations to provide buffers to an enemy advance and slow them down. It will also give you an absolutely insane garrison level. Here the garrison is 21,000 strong. Yes, not even the armies of Mordor could penetrate this bad boy. And then alongside that strategic level map bonus, you'll also be producing plenty of additional naval capacity. If you can get your hands on an esteemed quartermaster, that will boost the naval capacity of your soldiers by 2 per 100 soldiers. Every 100 pops here is giving me 7 naval capacity, which is basically an additional battleship. Don't forget to throw down a shield generator, and on at least one of your soldier planets, a military academy for more job efficiency. It's also very important to specialize your pops so that they can boost your outputs. Either give them flat bonuses to job efficiency through traits like Robust, or specialize them through traits like erudite for more research output. And never forget the power of the auto-modding traits. Every species type has them, be you robot, biological, or cybernetic, and they can give you some great bonuses. Instead of having to stack things like agrarian for more farming output or charismatic for more influential job output, you can simply put down your auto-modding trait, and then your pop will automatically pick whichever trait benefits its job best. These are very, very strong when paired with the other bonuses we've already spoken about. And that is because they are multiplicative. Resource output from jobs will multiply with job efficiency, giving you combined boosts that are just honestly nuts. There's one more little trick I feel it's necessary to show you, and that is the secret superpower of xenophobia in Stellaris patch 4.2. Xenophobia allows us to enslave aliens. Not only that, but it allows us to set the slavery type to livestock. This means if we have organic pops that take food as upkeep, they will produce food as output. If we have lithoid livestock that take minerals as upkeep, they will produce minerals as output. If we have infernal livestock that take alloys as upkeep, they will produce alloys as output. This trick only really works for organic or lithoid livestock, however. What you'll want to do is take a planet with your livestock on and fully specialize it in either farming if they are biological or mining support if they are lithoid. Don't build any other districts except one of the specific resource district type, where you'll want to put the upgraded processing facility down. After you've done that, you can just laugh all the way to the bank. Here I have 2,400 livestock, and they are producing 1,000 food. Yes, there's an upkeep of 24 food, and they are producing 1,000. Normally, all of these additional farming support districts will be adding in a horrendous amount of trade upkeep at plus 0.67 per district specialization per city district. In this case, that would be 26 times 0.67, which is about 20 trade per 100 farmers. But because these livestock are slaves, they're not technically farmers, they are the farm, and we don't have to pay any additional trade upkeep. If you are xenophobic and you have access to livestock, I would highly recommend you breed lots of lithoid pops and lots of biological pops and eat them in order to make all of your food and minerals. There is no way that is more efficient than eating people for making food or minerals in Stellaris. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the future. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see me put some of these techniques to action when I start with a completely F-tier empire, that's F-tier origin, civics, traits, and traditions, and more, then you'll want to click the video on screen now.